everyone, welcome. Jen the Taxidermy Witch, and we are here because it is, summer solstice and midsummer is right here and upon us, okay? So what I've done is I've gone through all my books and all the indexes and found the ones that talk about midsummer or summer solstice. So we are here to do some reading. It's going to be ultra fantastic. We have a few Scott Cunningham books here. Hi, John. I haven't seen you in a long time. Nice to see you. Ratchet Witch, hey, how are you? No, I came back for another video. Yeah, I came back for another one. I come back all the time. This is my job. My deities and my spirit guides want me to teach you guys. So we're here to learn together. I don't know everything that there is to know about midsummer and solstice, so I'd like to learn it with you guys. And a lot of the stuff that we read, we probably will know, and some of it will be absolutely brand new information. But what I want to do while we're here, I want to say hello to Janine and hello to Michelle. So nice to see you guys. South Carolina, that's fantastic. I've never been there, but I do want to go to the Carolinas very much. I want to light some special candles here for our special group of people that we have. And let me just do that now. It won't take long. Let's light some candles for midsummer. This one is for me, and this one is for you. Uncle Badger, go check my Skype message if you haven't already. I just sent you one, and then I went live. Okay, listening while doing stuff. So Tangerine, we're going to read all about midsummer and solstice, okay? Alright, let's see if I can get a light from the altar candle, and I usually use an incense to do that trick. Come on, brother. So I use my table for all kinds of things. I don't mind just dripping some wax on there. So this one's for me. And my safety and protection and happiness and love. And this one is for you guys. My beautiful family of community of people here. Thank you for being here with me. I'm lighting some candles for both of us before we do our reading on midsummer and summer solstice, which is just right here. Right here. Alright, that one's for you guys. For your guys' strength, for your guys' happiness, for your guys' power during this time. Oh, when I was picking out books, I read a little bit. And this is such a great time to be doing workings right here. Okay, so let me put this incense in the stick and we'll get started with the reading. Okay. Hey again, Dustin, Uncle Badger, Jack Jolly, fantastic. My family's here with me. I love you guys. Janice McKay, hey y'all. Alright, so the first book that we're going to read from is our Bible from Scott Cunningham, and you know what? It's another thing, like when I was trying to look up deities in here, there's not a good index in this book, because it's just herbs alphabetical and you don't really need an index, but in so many of these things that I read to you guys, it says, on midsummer do this. They need to make a better index so it can tell you all the pages with midsummer little, because they give you little spells and workings in here, you know? So, I did find something, however. Hey, Michelle, Noel, and everybody else who's in the chat. I think I said hello to everybody. So the one thing I found on midsummer was, in the back, there's this, like, glossary, and it says, midsummer, the summer solstice, usually near or on June 21st, which for me is tomorrow. One of the Wiccan festival days and an excellent time to practice magic. Okay? So tonight and tomorrow night is such a great time to be practicing magic. Okay, so that's all that I really found of this, but if you go through and you read all these different herbs, they'll tell you certain things to do on Midsummer. And man, I wish Nella was here with their Book of Shadows, because they are so good at putting certain things in order. And I need to have a section of my Book of Shadows that's just all Midsummer things from this book. So that means I have to read this book from start to finish and just note all the Midsummer things. Eventually, I've read that book about 100 times, eventually it's just all going to get stuck in my head, yeah? So these candles are for us. This one is for me, and this one is for you guys, and I love my family so freaking much I can't even explain it. So nothing is going to get in my way. Ever. Nothing is going to get in my way. So I love you guys. The next book that we're reading about Midsummer from, hey Witch of Whimsy. I'm glad you're back on. Yeah, I mean, this is my life. I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. I'm here with you. I love y'all. Hey Trish. So Wicca in the Kitchen. I thought that it would have more, but it just had one little stint. And it says Midsummer, circa June 21st. This is on page 38 of Wicca in the Kitchen. Circa June 21st. The summer solstice is an ancient time of magic. Okay, so again, it's saying this time here is an ancient time of magic. Hey, Gypsy Lee! It's been so long. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, Jack Jolly, solstice blessings to you. Jack Jolly's over in Wales, I do believe. And that's not too far from Stonehenge compared to the Americas when we drive down to California and we say, oh, that's not too far. It takes a day. Alright, sorry I got off. The summer solstice is an ancient time of magic. Great fires were lit on hilltops to honor the zenith of the sun's strength. Okay? So, something that you could practice, and hopefully safely, is you could go up onto a hilltop and light a great fire to honor the zenith of the sun's strength. So nice to see everybody. Justin's here! Hey man, how are you? We're learning about Midsummer, because, you know, June 21st is tomorrow. The energy today is flippin' gorgeous. I love you guys so much. Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Now this is awesome. Fresh fruits, which are increasingly available as autumn nears. Alex went out to we have this fresh fruit forest in Seattle. He went out and he picked a whole, let me just go show you guys what he picked because it's so Midsummer. I'll go get him right now. I'll be right back. Okay, so check these out. He just goes to this local, it's called the food forest, or the fruit, I think it's called the food forest. And you can just, hey Pepper Jackie, I think you can just walk around in there and pick whatever. And he got all these, he told me the name and I forgot them. They're so good. They're so good. They're like smaller than a cherry. Oh my god. But this is what the book's talking about, like, go out, forage these fruits, and enjoy this, you know, make a collection of fruits and enjoy this time. Where everything is like, all the berries are coming out. Currants. I think we have currants. White ones, pink ones, and... So then there's a seed inside. You can keep the seed for workings. You can keep the stem for workings. Okay? These things have powerful abilities and workings. So, you know, clean them up. Dehydrate them, because they do have moisture in there. And use them in your workings, you guys. This is folk magic. This is the work that we do when we don't have $50 to go out and get a couple stones and a couple herbs, and then that's all we have. It's fucking all around us. It's all around us, so go out there and forage. It's really a beautiful planet if you take advantage of where it is, where we are here. Okay, so fresh fruits, which are increasingly available as autumn nears, are fine summer foods, as are any dishes that use fruit as a major ingredient. So during this time, fruit should be the major ingredient. And I think that has to do with like what's going on with our bodies too during this time, fruit's a really good way to cleanse before the summer gets here, to get our bodies energized and ready. Fruit has everything your body needs and nothing that it doesn't. I mean, you could literally live on fruit. Smudgy. I think it's a little better. I don't know. Okay, so moving along. In keeping with the heat of the holiday, as we're getting warmer outside, in keeping with the heat of the holiday, flaming foods are also appropriate. So if you were to have like some kind of grilled food with a fire underneath, so a barbecue, or if you have a gas stove, you could flame up some peppers right on the gas stove, right on the fire, and really get that element in there. Yeah, McKay, I love veggies as well. And I'm not talking about flare up the grill and grill up some meat. I'm talking about take this book and figure out what veggies are going to be good for you magically. Grill those up on on Solstice, Midsummer. Tess, I love you. How have you been? And hi, Rachel. How are you? Hello, family. Exactly. Hello, family. For those of you who just got here, I've lit a candle for myself, and I've lit a candle for you guys. And the energy here right now is so, so good. Gustin says fruit is also an easy digestion food that doesn't stay long in your... Exactly. But if you eat meat and then you eat a bunch of fruit, the fruit's going to want to pass by the meat and you'll get bad stomach aches. So I know a lot about food combinations because I did raw foods for so long. So if you guys ever have questions about food combinations, how to eat your food so that you don't have stomach aches, I can help you with that. But yeah, that's not the topic of this video. But that's all that this book really had to say. And it didn't even have ingredients for like summer solstice or midsummer. It just says that. Okay. Unless it does and I missed it. I know a lot of you have that book, so maybe I missed it. Where are we here? Digestive system. Yes. Veggies are so good. I agree. Oh gosh. Jen Tax, what incenses are you burning? Oh, right now I am burning an opium incense I believe I got from Joyce. I'm burning it on Joyce's burner. But the incense is how I get... Do you see how over here my altar, my main altar flame is like really kind of at the lower point, and I can't just stick the candle in to light it? I use the incense as a flame mover. I lit it there and I moved it over here. And then I melted some wax and just stuck those there, yeah? But did I even answer the question? Jen, tell me the Ace of Base story. Oh, Rachel! Okay, let's interrupt super quick. We have a tiny story time because Rachel, I told her, she brought up Ace of Base the other day in a chat, and it wasn't mine. So I said, when I go live, let me tell you that story. Alright, I dated this guy in like 2010, and he was the biggest loser. Like, I think I was just like drinking a lot during that time, and I was in a haze, and when the smoke cleared, when I got a little bit more sober, I was like, this guy's not good for me. So anyway, the Ace of Base story is, I never really liked him. I always gave him the evil eye, and I hate when I like put myself in those relationships, but I don't do it anymore. I'm like not wanting to be in a relationship anymore. I just want to have a family of people to be with. Like, tangibly. That's what I'm trying to form. Y'all know that. Anyway, so this guy, it was so weird. Every time he did a number 2 in the bathroom, he would take a shower. Like, he was compulsively, like, washing his hands, and he didn't want to have any traces of number 2 on his body, so he would always take a shower right after. And the song he would always sing the same song. And it was an Ace of Base song. And he was younger than me, so I don't even know why he sang Ace of Base. Why was he listening to it, because he's 10 years younger than me. So anyway, he was singing the sign. You know that song, I saw the sign and opened up my eyes. Okay. But he sang it, I saw the sun. Every time it would be, I saw the sun. And it opened up my eyes, saw the sun. So, he always sang it wrong, and I just thought that that was hilarious. And I wanted to share that with you guys, so there's the story time. And now we're back to talking about midsummer and summer solstice and everything it has to give us. Alright, I want to put on my rings because my hands feel naked. I've been kind of charging them up in my copper scales back here. I have these copper scales that I put my rings in. Okay, so I told Dace a base story, Rachel. What did you think? Let me see the chat. Meat takes time to digest. Yeah, meat takes like 6 to 8 hours, and fruit only takes 2. So the fruit will try and rush past, and then that really hurts your stomach. Hey, Ashley Boo, how are you, darling? Just trying to catch up on the chat super quick. I'm all caught up. No, don't ruin my jam. Oh my god, what a dweeb. Oh, he was such a dweeb. And you know what? Hey, Nello's here! Nello, do you have in your book of shadow notes anything on Midsummer that we've talked about? Like, especially when we talk out of this book? Do you have any notes, particularly like a section that talks about summer solstice or midsummer? I just wondered because in that book a lot of times that we talk about it and it comes up. Oh, Ricky's going to sleep. She just sent me a message. Sorry, I can't join you live. Ricky wants to be here, but she's tired. Yeah, she's a cutie. Okay, no, I'm not trying to ruin your jam or anything. You were wondering where your rings were, hun. Yeah, I was charging them. Because I was doing decoupage art, and when I do that, I can't get... If I get decoupage on my rings, it's hard to, like, pry it out. So yeah, I feel better. Now my hands aren't naked and I can make some noise. Yay! Okay, Nello's gonna check. Moving along, we're gonna go ahead and talk about from this book. Now this book is almost identical to this book. This book came out first, but there's differences in this book. So I looked in both and I got different things out of both, which is great. Actually, you know, this book has pictures, like color pictures, whereas Wicca in the Kitchen does not. So if you ever are able to like go to thrift books and get your hands on The Magic in Food, this is a Scott Cunningham book, retro, go retro. And what it says on Midsummer or Summer Solstice is, it's not a lot in these books, it's weird. Midsummer, the summer solstice, circa June 21st, the summer solstice is an ancient time of magic. Oh, it says the same exact thing. Great fires were lit on hilltops in honor of the zenith of the sun's strength. Fresh fruits, which are increasingly available as autumn nears, are fine midsummer foods, as are any dishes that use fruit as a major ingredient. In keeping with the heat of this holiday, flaming foods are also appropriate. So it says the same exact thing, but there are differences in this book. I've found them before, so I keep both. Now we're going to Scott Cunningham's main book that most people know him for. Well, I think most people know him for this, but like if you're into Wicca, you probably have had this book. This is the older cover. The newer cover is green, I believe, and then there's a part 2 with a purple cover. So this is Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham, and when it goes to Midsummer, it says... Gypsy Lee, I'm so glad you're here. Exactly, Dustin. We tend to eat more meats and more potatoes and more root vegetables in the winter. And then in the summer, we're eating more fruits. In the winter, we're staying in. But we're eating those root vegetables like beets, potatoes, whatever. We're grounded. But when we go outside and we venture, we forage, we find fruits. Those are from the tops of the trees. And if you've ever learned anything about Ayurvedic medicine, I'm not a doctor. Ayurvedic medicine is kind of like naturopathy, but it's this Indian style, and it's so flippin' cool because it talks about all this, like, oh gosh, it's awesome. We learned about it in massage school 10 years ago. But when you eat the fruits from the top of the trees, it gets you out, it gets you going, because those foods that you're eating are from different parts of the tree. When you eat the roots, you're grounded. When you eat the tops of the tree, like oranges, fruits, berries, etc., you're able to get up and get out, and the energy changes. It's a really beautiful thing. And he says he finds himself juicing too. Yeah, fruit and meat doesn't really mix, does it? You have a section on Beltane and Litha. Okay. Well, Nello, we definitely need to make a section on Midsummer in your Book of Shadows, because, you know, one day I want to get your Book of Shadows you're making, and from my videos, and then put it together with my knowledge and maybe, like, co-author a book with you. That would be so fun. Ayurveda is legit. Yeah, Rachel, absolutely. Hey, Ricky. Love you. I'll check your Skype message when I'm done. Alright, so in this book, Wicca for the Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham, very popular book, it says for Midsummer, the summer solstice, circa June 21st, also known as Litha. Litha? How do you pronounce it, you guys? Lithia or Litha? Tell me in the chat. Yeah, totally, Nella. We just need to get all these different sections, so when it brings up, like, Lithia or Languisha or, like, Mabon or Samhain, we need to have all of those different sections. So I know you're doing really good and helping me there. I appreciate it. Alright, so Midsummer, also known as Litha, arrives when the powers of nature reach their highest point. The earth is awash in the fertility of the goddess and the god. In the past, bonfires were leapt to encourage fertility, purification, health, and love. The fire once again represents the sun, feted on this time of the longest daylight hours. So that's tomorrow, June 21st, when we have the longest daylight hours. It's Michelle says, I say Litha. You say Litha. Okay. Well, I'm going to pronounce it however I hear it. I don't know. Litha? Spelled, Litha? Litha? Anyhow. Is everything okay, Thomas? Oh, happy birthday to your grandmother when she has a... My nephew's birthday is today. And isn't today, June 20th, the summer solstice? That's when we always have the solstice parade in Seattle. And they have, like, these naked people that have their bodies painted and they go down on bikes and it's, like, this big thing. And then they have naked people that don't have paint sometimes that, like, run down the street. Like, you just see flopping bits. It's so funny. And when they're on the bikes, it's, like, flopping bits. It's... so hilarious. But it's men and women. And it's this beautiful thing, but then the cops come and then they all have to run away. And they do it every single year in Seattle. I don't even understand it. Naked frolicking. Yeah, totally. But isn't that beautiful, especially on summer solstice, to get your body naked and have, like, the sunlight and the moonlight touch it during that time? And I'm not being funny and I'm not being dirty or anything like that. I'm trying to say honestly, get outside, let the wind, let the air, get a bikini on if you have to, but if you can get naked in these beautiful times and this beautiful moonlight and sunlight, you should. Yeah, it was normal in other countries, absolutely, Kirsten. Harvested bayberry leaves, nice, Nello. Sowed hibiscus and grounded cuttings of peach hibiscus, that's so nice! Have you seen the traditions they do in Cornwall? They have amazing midsummer rituals. I do believe I've seen some of that on like documentary videos that I've watched. God, I would love to be in the UK during this time right now. But do you guys call this Samhain? No, that's Beltane Samhain. Okay, never mind. We're gonna have nominations for a Beltane King or a Samhain King. Tangerine Layla needs to make that wand. And then we'll try and pass it on. She'll be able to get it out of Canada, I'm pretty sure. You made a foraging video, Nello. I'll have to check it out. Sounds amazing. So let's keep reading about this beautiful, beautiful time that we're sitting in right now. Midsummer is a classic time for magic of all kinds. So again, you guys, if you have any chance to get workings done, right now is an amazing time. If you are a Gemini during this time, do as many workings as you can. Do as much law of attraction magic as you can. Everything that you try to manifest will come to you. I'm doing a vision board tonight of what I want my future to look like. And I don't care if you guys see it. If you guys see it, it actually makes makes it manifest even more. Just like when I make a sigil and I show it to you, it manifests even more. The more eyes that see it, the deeper that it will go into the, energies of the beautiful universe. Supermarket Sabbats. I figured Sabbats. I also have a book called The Magical Year. I should go get that. I just couldn't find it in my file. I'm going to forget if I don't go right now. I'm going to go get The Magical Year. Don't you go anywhere. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hopefully 8 books to look through. So you stay right here. Haha, I found it. Boom, right here. The Magical Year. I bet there's something about what we're going through in this right now. So Gemini Sun. Tangerine Layla, you don't have to rush because it's next May, But let me see if we can find anything in here. I bet we can. So Litha, however you pronounce it, page 125. Quiet, computer. I'm working. This is my work, just so you guys know. When I'm doing this, this is my work. My spirit guides want me to teach myself, teach you, get this all going down. The Book of Midsummer by Deborah Blake is fun to read too. Holy potatoes, Ratchet Witch. I really, really, really would like that book. I need to get that on my list for sure. So Litha, it says here, some beautiful drawings as well. A common name for summer solstice is Litha. This probably comes from the Old Saxon Lithi, L-I-T-H-I, meaning the mildest, most pleasant time of year, from which derives the Aleo-Saxon, named for the months of June and July. The Saxon historian Bede records that these times were called Era Lippa, Era Lippia, literally before and after Litha, before and after the Midsummer. Okay, so that's what it says about Litha, and then let's look for Midsummer and then also Solstice. If you're going to an index of a book and trying to learn about this kind of stuff, look up Litha, look up Solstice, look up Summer Solstice, and then look up Midsummer. Those are all the words that you want to look up if you're going to an index of a book to do what we're doing here. Hey, Jenna, nice to see you. So many hearts. So many hearts. Okay, so Midsummer. Yeah, I think that might be all that we get from this book. But it's nice to just kind of like go through your library of books during the Sabbath that you're in or you're coming upon and see like special things that you can do. So in Supermarket Sabbats, which is a book that I've got, I found one area where it talked about Solstice Tree of Life Ritual. Okay? Solstice Tree of Life Ritual. Items needed, a Yule tree. So that's interesting because I have an indoor Norfolk Island pine. And that's something that we can keep all year. And when you have one of those indoor Norfolk Island pines, it does shed branches throughout the year, and especially like toward the summer. So that's awesome that it says that one of the items needed is a Yule tree, because I have that kind of all year round. Okay, mini witch ball ornaments, at least one, so like a mini ball. Deity decorations if desired, and water. The basic concept of this working is to use the Yule tree, item of a symbol of connection to the everlasting life force, as a stang in order to bridge the gap between realms. A stang is a magical staff that is usually a forked branch from a tree. There are similar properties of both the stang and a tree in a magical practice, so the crossover use makes sense. The deity decorations will only be needed if you plan on connecting with deities in the ritual. Not every witch does, and even those of us that may do not choose to do every time. And that's really true. Like, sometimes we'll do working and light a candle at an altar and ask a deity for some assistance because we've been giving them offerings. And we need some extra power to this working. And I feel like you can tell that within yourself if you need that extra boost. And if you don't, then just do you. And I think that that really works. And I like that they said that in this book. Random book, Supermarket Sabbaths, that I just found at like a half-price books. Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I'll have to look into that book. That's fantastic. Alright, so moving along. Regardless if specific deities are being called upon, individual decorations to each one should be created. If the goddess or god are called upon in less specific forms, decorations can be made in more general terms. Example, a sun or moon motif. If these decorations are handmade, almost anything can be used in their creation. Small picture frames can be hung on the tree with wire, and small images of the deities can be placed inside. In this digital age, images from classical art can be printed out, etc. Alright, so moving along, there was another place in this book that talked about solstice, and it was talking about solstice dust. So let's talk about solstice dust. It is 1 tablespoon of cinnamon, which is for love and spirituality. 1 tablespoon of cloves for protection. 1 tablespoon of nutmeg for love. 1 tablespoon of sage for protection. Chamomile, it says 1 tea bag for peace. 2 drops of vanilla extract for peace. 2 drops of orange extract for love. Cornstarch optional. Uncle Badger YouTube just notified you about this live stream. That's okay. It's okay. It's here. Combine the first 5 ingredients in a bowl and powder them together with your fingers, a spoon, or use a mortar and pestle. Once the herbs have been finely powdered, add the vanilla and orange extracts, stir the blend, and if the mixture is too moist, add some cornstarch until the powder feels dry. Leave out to dry overnight and then charge with intent for love, peace, and protection. And bottle for use. So that was a solstice dust that we found in Supermarket Sabbaths. It's interesting in this book because they have lots of like recipes, but then they have also like little workings like dusts and stuff. So very nice and interesting things in there. So the next book that we're going to look in is The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Wicca by Raven G. So I found it under... This is kind of like an alphabetical encyclopedia. It's nice. So I found it under Summer Solstice, and I'll go ahead and do the reading. Okay. Alright. Ready? Summer solstice marks the longest day of the year and is an important festival occasion in Wicca and witchcraft. In Northern Europe lore, the summer solstice marks the battle between the Oak King and the Holly King. Okay, so if you have a battle between the Oak King and the Holly King, and then you really look into that story, maybe you could do a working with Oak and Holly. But let's continue the reading. So the summer solstice marks the battle between the Oak King and the Holly King, figures representing the waxing and waning forces of nature. Okay, so the gaining and then the taking away of nature. Hey Jack, have a really good night. So many kisses. On the day of summer solstice, the Holly King defeats his brother, the Oak King. Okay, so the Holly King defeated the Oak King. Even though this is the longest day of the year, the days begin to grow shorter from this time forward. In southern Europe, ritual battles were enacted by groups such as the Benetanti. Fennel and sorghum stalks were used as symbols of light and darkness in a battle over the fertility of crops and herds. In Italian witchcraft, the summer solstice is the celebration of the anticipation of plenty, the bounty of nature, and the coming of the harvest season. In many modern Celtic-based traditions of Wicca and witchcraft, the summer solstice festival is called Litha. Now, again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. The word Litha may be derived from the Anglo-Saxon word Leda, which means the moon. Some commenters have suggested that Era Leda corresponded to the month of June in the Anglo-Saxon calendar, while Alpharia-oriented Wiccans believe that Litha was actually the ancient name of the summer solstice, although there is no historical evidence to confirm this. In the popular fiction work entitled Return of the King, to denote Midsummer's Day. In modern Wicca, we use the word Litha as the name for the summer solstice. First publicly appears in the late 1970s in such works as Spiritual Dance by Starhawk. And then it says, see Holly King, Oak King, Stag of the Wheel, and the Wolf, etc. So there's more story that you can learn about that in this book, which is fantastic. Thanks, Wiccan Mohan! Thank you for telling me I pronounced it right. That's the way that it's spelled. So, yeah, very nice to see you here in the chat. We're just going through all my books. We're about half done. And the next book that we're on to is The Witch Book by Raymond Buckland. I love the cover of this book. It's fantastic, and the back is beautiful as well. So let's keep learning. Let's keep doing some book reading. And that's what I like to do. I really like to go through all of my books that I think it might be in, look in the index and see if I can find it. And remember, you guys, if you're looking for this, look up Litha, L-A-T-H-A, look up Midsummer, and look up Summer Solstice. Yeah, and then the traditions, look up Oak King and Holly King to get the story. Yeah, totally, Uncle Badger. The Anglo-Saxon root to the words is interesting. Alright, so in this book, it calls it Summer Solstice. Let me see if I can find it under Litha. I don't think so. I think I looked there. Okay. It says Lilith and that's it. So yeah, Summer Solstice, one of the lesser Sabbats on the Wiccan calendar. I don't know really what that means, a lesser Sabbat on the Wiccan calendar. Wiccan Mohan, maybe you know. The summer solstice falls on or about June 21st, depending on when the sun enters Cancer. Now, is there anybody here in the chat that's really fantastic with astrology that could tell me if the sun is in Cancer? Where's the sun right now? What planet is that? So depending on when the sun enters Cancer, this was originally a fire festival throughout most of Europe, although Janet and Stuart Perrar point out that it was late developing in such Celtic countries, since they were not originally solar-oriented. Other names used for the summer solstice are St. John's Eve, and that's when we pick the mugwort. Remember, St. John's Eve is mugwort picking day. So tomorrow I'm going to cut all the rest of the mugwort. And if it grows more, it grows more. But that we read before, that's the day to go pick your mugwort. Or trim it. Moving along. So summer solstice, some other names are St. John's Eve, Alban Hefin, A-L-B-A-N-H-E-F-I-N, and Litha. It is the time when the sun is at zenith, giving the longest day of the year. And remember, talking about zenith, you can go climb up on a hill and light a big fire, be very, very safe. And that will be honoring to the zenith. Gemini, 29 degrees. Okay. Okay. Gemini. So it's not in Cancer, but that's okay. This Sabbath marks the end of the reign of the Oak King, because remember the Holly King won, and the start of that of the Holly King. I'm getting good at remembering what's going on. So this book gave us stuff that we had already read, but that's okay. We're getting the basics, and we're hearing it over and over, correct? It's nice. Alright, so in this book, these are some of the first books I got when I was like starting to get books on witchcraft about 4 years ago. I got these 3 books. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do look through them when I want to look up stuff. And I found things in here, and I thought I'd share. So we have Summer Solstice or Midsummer, and what we're reading is the Grimoire, Modern Witch Grimoire, your complete guide to creating your own Book of Shadows. I don't really read books from start to front, you know. Some of them I do, but most I just look up what I need. Okay, rad. So we have some midsummer magic in here too. Summer solstice or midsummer. In the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. The Sun King has now reached the highest point in his journey through the heavens. Wiccans celebrate midsummer around June 21st, when the sun enters 0 degrees of the zodiac sign Cancer. This is a time of abundance when the earth puts forth her bounty. And that's what I'm talking about, you guys. If you guys are trying to manifest anything, if you guys are trying to do workings to bring something to you, if you guys are trying to, law of attraction magic right now is going to be so powerful in this very, very time. So, you know, sigils cost nothing. They're a piece of pen and paper and you. There's a lot of things that you can do for free, and that's what my channel is really all about. We forage, we dry skins of fruits that we're using in our kitchen. We do so many things that you don't have to go out and buy stuff, alright? Oh, moving along. The holiday significance. Okay, the holiday significance. Ooh, burn basil leaves with your wish on it. I sometimes do the, bay leaves, you know, bay laurel leaves. I write my wish and burn them. You already did that, Wiccan? That's perfect. That's perfect. The holiday significance. In early Argerian cultures, midsummer marked a period of plenty when the food was abundant and life was easy. Again, we went outside today in the middle of downtown Seattle in a food forest and picked all of these berries. They're so good. And that's so perfect. Like, Alex doesn't practice magic or energy work or witchcraft or spiritualism, but he's still doing these things. Like, something called him to go pick all this fruit today. And that's magical in its own. We all have an attachment to the universe, and he does too. Even though he's not like us, he has an attachment to the universe. He's a gardener, you know. So, his body just knew today to go pick all that fruit, and I think that's fantastic. So, because I was saying that food was abundant and life was easy, our ancestors celebrated this joyful holiday with feasting and revelry. At this point, however, the sun has reached its pinnacle and begins to descend once again. Celtic pagan mythology depicts this at the end of the Oak King's reign, as he is overthrown by the Holly King, who presides over the waning part of the year. So the Holly King presides over the waning part of the year. This myth sees 2 kings as 2 separate aspects of the god. These rivals are the goddess's lovers, and each has his season. Ooh, she's got 2! Fancy lady. Bye-bye, Paris. So much love to you. Bye-bye, honey. So that's fantastic. Folklore says that midsummer earth spirits abound. This belief inspired Shakespeare's delightful play For a Midsummer's Night Dream. Apparently, life on every level rejoices in the fullness of the season. If you wish, you can commune with the elementals and fairies at this time. So Thomas, if you're still here, I'm going to go get one more book that I forgot to get because the Fae, it's a really big time for that, and I know you love that. So I'm going to go get my Fae craft book and be right back and just add one more book to the collection of what we're reading. Don't worry, it'll be fast. Okay, well, wait. It says A Midsummer Night Dream, 98204, and what I'm in is this Fairy Craft by Emily Carding. Weaving connections with the enchanted realm. Okay, so it says it doesn't say midsummer in the thing, but it does say Midsummer Night Dream. It doesn't say Litha, and it let's see if it says solstice or summer solstice. Nope. All right, so Midsummer Night Dream, 98204. Don't let me forget those pages. 98204. Lots of cool pictures in here. These people are cool. They're all in Europe, I think. UK. 98204. 98204. I found 98. Now where's the Midsummer Night? Oh, here we go. It's talking about chalk figures with white horses. And it says, Neil Gaiman graphically followed the line of thought in this wonderful Sandman graphic novels. What? Enjoy the first production ever. It's not saying anything. So what was the second page? 20 what? 204? 204. Because I was reading in a different book how it's a good time to be working with the Fae. Where's 204? This book's nuts. It like has pictures and then no numbers. Who made this book? Okay, anyway. Nothing in there, but let's move on. The Wheel of the Year. I think a lot of people have these like modern witchcraft books. These are some of the first ones that I got 4 years ago when I was buying books. And I wasn't too happy with them. But I do use them for reference. And I can't lie, I don't use them a ton. But when it comes solstice time, I do look things up. Oh yeah, absolutely, Tess. Make sure you're friends with all these folks because a lot of us are just making channels to talk. Like if Tess Moore made a channel just for us to all be joining and talking, it's just so cool. I love what Ricky did. More of you should do it. Alright, so the summer solstice. Let's do some reading here. There's going to be a bit of reading here. Are you guys ready? Oh, this is where we talk about the fairies. Perfect. Alright guys, let's go. A lot of reading. Wheel of the Year. The sprouting leaves are now dense and thick as flower gives way to ripening fruit. Usually occurring on or around June 21st, the Sabbath of Litha is the triumph of the sun and the culmination of the Green Man or the Oak King. The embodiment of the spirit of nature and the sacred male principle. His strength is at its most potent before he cut down, in a symbolic sacrifice representing the necessity of death in order for life to continue. Anticipating the coming of the harvest, he is the wild soul that that revels in the fullness of nature. His vicious appears among the lush green leaves, peering out from among the foliage with penetrating eyes that shine forth with the wisdom of the natural world. He signifies the chaos and beauty of the potent God. He is the natural order of the universe and the frenzy of life untamed. Sharing similarities with Beltane, Litha is a Sabbath strongly associated with elemental fire. Elemental fire. Where are we here? I looked up, darn it. In an effort to assist the sun in changing its course, great bonfires were lit. Again, go up on a hill, light a bonfire for the zenith. Is that what it's called? In an effort to assist the sun in changing its course, great bonfires were lit. Oftentimes, the midsummer bonfire escaped its bounds, and devotees would hurl flaming discs at the sun or alternately roll burning wheels down the hillside. Litha is also characterized by the presence of the fairy realm. Contact with the fae, desirable and dangerous at once, is possible at this time. So you guys, get out your hold stones. I don't have one with me, it's over there, but go get out your hold stones, your hag stones. Start looking through those during this time. Today, tomorrow, possibly the next day. Start looking, start contacting. Your offerings to the fae at this time are going to be highly accepted, I would imagine. Midsummer's Eve. That's right now, yeah? Right now. Midsummer's Eve. Was often regarded as a time of intense magic and was considered suitable for casting love spells and charms. I don't do love spells. I don't do love spells. I'm not a doctor, and I don't do love spells. I do attraction workings. I do Hi Amethyst Moonstone. I do, you know, look at me attraction workings, but I do not do love workings. I have had people that ended up with stalkers. I have people that have ended up where the marriage didn't work out, but the husband was still completely in love with the it's really dangerous to play with people's hearts and emotions, you know. So I don't do love workings, but this, if you're gonna, you know, be that witch, this is the time to do it. And it's fine. It's honestly, it's fine if you want to do it. It's just not for me. But yes, love spells and charms are great at this time. Any herbs gathered at midnight on Midsummer's Eve are believed to be unparalleled potency. So that's it. That's it. Tonight at midnight, I'm going to go pick a bunch. I'm going to go forage a bunch of things. And that is going to be so absolutely special because it just said here, and I believe it, any herbs gathered at midnight on Midsummer's Eve were believed to have unparalleled potency. So my mugwort. We have a lot of things out here. Nettle. That would be amazing to harvest at midnight, nettles. Hey Joyce! Hey Kirsten! So nice to see you! So everybody, tonight, go pick herbs at midnight. Just figure out what you can forage. Go out there. If there's a dogwood tree out your window, go get some dogwood at midnight tonight. Oh, Thomas, it's okay, man. But you are in the UK. One of these times you should plan a trip down to one of the stone circles or something. You got a ton of blackberry. Ooh, brambles. Man, if you harvest blackberry brambles tonight at midnight, those would be potent. Okay, great news. This is absolutely great news. Oh my god, my candle went out. Okay. I have a little problem. I'll fix it though. Okay, candle won't stay lit. Stay lit, please. I really need you. So the good news is, the bad news is my altar candle went out. It's just been like kind of touch and go lately, this candle. I think it's just because it's a really hard intent on the candle, and the candle's having a hard time getting that out there because it's a hard question to ask what I asked on the candle that I wrote. So the flame keeps going out, but luckily I had the candles lit for me and you guys, and that saved it. Because my altar light didn't go out and go away because I still had it there. Alright, so moving along, we're going to talk about the summer solstice. The sun reaches the point on the celestial sphere where it is again at the greatest distance from the celestial equator. Only this time the earth is tilted its full 23.5 degrees in the direction of the sun. The sun shines directly over the Tropic of Cancer at a latitude of 23 degrees north and seems to stop for a moment as the Earth's journey around the sun reaches a culmination. The sun will be at its furthest north along the horizon, standing still before the beginning its slow return to the southern sky. In Great Britain, no, that's okay, man. Whoever feels like they can do love magic and be okay with it, that's great. But for me, when I've done it, it's backfired. And so I don't keep it on my agenda of things that I do. I will do twin flame workings, where you're trying to draw someone to you like that. Soulmate workings, twin flame workings, but man, targeted love workings are kind of, in my realm, dangerous. Okay, so we were talking about all that stuff, and then we said, in Great Britain, standing stark on the hill of Salisbury Plain, Thomas, do you know where that is? Are the megaliths of Stonehenge. I love megaliths. I love cryptozoology. I love aliens. I love UFOs. I love Billy Meyer. I love Travis Walton. I was a member of MUFON for 3 years. Alex and I were members of MUFON. That's where you go and you can investigate people who said that they had UFO sightings, and you go the next day. We're into that stuff. And why did I even bring that up? Because monoliths are all over the world, and they're amazing. In Costa Rica, deep in the forest, they have these big giant sphere balls that are super old, and those are the Costa Rica monoliths. You're collecting witches' burrs. That's oh god, witches' burrs. Collect them tonight. What a good one, Mohan. Talking about twin flames, Kay Maddox did a pretty great video about her thoughts on the subject. I should check that out, Ratchet Witch. Yeah, yes! Yes! Yetis, Bigfoot, exactly, Kirsten. Especially out here where we are on the West Coast. Because, the biggest spotting in the world, the Patterson pose, which everybody sees, that was in California, And all around the whole world, it just depends on where you are or what they look like, right? Okay, so moving along, monoliths are one of my favorite things to research. How did they get there? How did they get there, Oh, Joyce, man, I should send you some. Okay, so in Great Britain, standing stark on the hill of Salisbury Plain are the monoliths of Stonehenge. What appear to be the remnants of a great dolmen arches stand, and they have 4,000 to 5,000 years, a mysterious enigma that has never been solved, ever. One indisputable fact about Stonehenge is that the circle of stones and the great avenue leading to its center, in alignment with the midsummer solstice sunrise. Whether Stonehenge was intended as a calendar, timepiece, observatory, or ritual space remains debated to this day. It was a fucking ritual space, right, Joyce? Right, everybody? I'm all right, Joyce? Joyce. But also to this day, the sun does not fail to fall upon the heel stone, casting a lingering shadow on the morning of the summer solstice and again on the evening of the winter solstice. The summer solstice was considered sacred to the Celtic goddess Danu, D-A-N-U, or Anu, A-N-U, as she was alternately known. As goddess, she would bestow fertility, prosperity, and abundance. Her followers would circle her around the Canuck Ankh, carrying torches of straw and hay. Waving the torches over themselves, their cattle, and their crops, they sought to secure her blessing and her aid. When the day is at its longest, and the full glory of the earth is manifested in the bounty of summer, every rock, tree, bird, and insect seems to radiate vitality. And that's what I'm talking about, you guys. I've got these candles going. I've got you guys right here. It's Midsummer's Eve, right? And this energy that we have is tingling in my arms. It's just radiating and beautiful. Oh, Ratchet Witch, you should make videos. Like I'm saying, even if you just sit and talk, and we talk about topics, and you get some of your books, and we talk about them, make a channel. I've had, in the year that I've been on, I think I've influenced about 10 people to make channels, and I'm so flippin' happy that they did. Living Out Loud, don't you guys love her? Black Moon Coven, don't you guys love her? There's just, I'm so happy to have influenced people to make channels, and Ratchet Witch, you definitely should. Definitely should. Start tonight. Start right after I go. Jen, I will you power and prosperity see me. Alright, so next we're on to the next bit, which says, when the day is at its longest, the full glory of the earth is manifested in the bounty of summer. Every rock, tree, bird, and insect seems to radiate vitality. A whirl of activity takes place before the coming darkness. So that's like, as tonight, as the sun's going down, there's just this frickin' whirl of energy that takes over before the darkness comes. And that time is when we can be doing our workings and getting the most out of what we're doing. Is Amethyst gonna do it too? I wish I was brave enough to do a channel. Amethyst Moonstone, you are. You are brave enough. And Ratchet Witch, encourage Amethyst. I want you guys to both make a channel. Do you both have laptops? Just join this live community. Friend everyone on here. Hug everyone. Ring everyone's bell. And ask everyone to do that to you as well. And just, we need to have more people just sit down and chatting so we can be together all of the time. All of the time. So we can come onto YouTube and one of our people will be on. We can just join the chat and be with our friends anytime. That's why I want you to do it. That's why I want you to do it. Okay. So whirl of activity takes place before the coming darkness. We take a cue from the natural world and use this time to align with the powerful energies that surround us. While the summer solstice is a culmination, it is also an ending. As the power of the sun reaches its peak, the only thing that can follow is decline. Okay? This pentiment surge of strength precedes death, the time of the Oak King, the half year of the burgeoning life and light passes, and the reign of the Holly King, who proceeds over the waning year, begins. Maybe perhaps we need a Holly King. And then it moves on to origins of the fairies. In Celtic mythology, the goddess Danu was hailed as the universal mother. She's considered the most ancient Celtic divinity and is the mother of Tahanu Dida'ahan. Her consort was Bile, the god seen as the first ancestor of the Tahuta Da'an, and sometimes referred to as the father of men. Also called Anu or Anna, Danu represents the earth and all of its fruitfulness. Her children were the early gods of the land. One of her sons was Nahanu, the supreme god of war. Nahanu is linked to a Celtic version of Zeus and was the king of... There's so many words in here I can't pronounce. But it's not talking about Midsummer, it's just talking about Fae. So, at some point, Thomas, there's some good information in here. But I think this book is really rad, just to kind of read from front to back and get some really great ideas on offerings and how to make little garden doors and houses and shit. After I read that book, I made my Fae dollhouse that is back here. You know, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Okay, moving along, we have 2 books left. We have the Modern Witchcraft Spellbook, which again, I don't use these too much, but they're great for looking stuff up when you need to use an index in all your books and to make a video about something. Okay, so Midsummer, the summer solstice in Northern Hemisphere, the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, usually around June 21st. See, we're hearing it over and over and over. It's going to get grilled into our head. At this time, it's abundance when the earth puts forth her bounty in all its radiance. Tap this period of fullness to boost the power of spells for wealth, success, and recognition. Legend says that you can communicate with the elements and fairies now. Okay, Thomas? Today, tonight, tomorrow, you should be really trying to do your Fae communication. Oh, I don't do Facebook, Wicked Mohan, but make a Skype and join me. Oh, you're talking to Joyce. Okay. I don't do socials, but I do Skype. Yes. Yes, please do it, ladies. Please do. You don't... All you have to have is your laptop to go live. Laptop. And, a light behind your laptop. And book to read than some candles. I mean, honestly. But Thomas has been talking about making a channel for a long time. It's not happened yet because he needs to have a badger coat. So we're working on it. Taxidermy Witch is working on it. Midsummer is also a good time to collect herbs, flowers, and other plants to use in magic spells throughout the year. So if you're collecting herbs on this time, label on your jars that you collected at Midsummer's Eve or at midnight on Midsummer. And again, in this book, we only found one little bit on Midsummer, but if you were to go and look through all these things, there are little bits and pieces that talk about different herbs that you can use for Midsummer. It's just that the index doesn't bring it up. We've probably talked about it on the channel 50 times, things about Midsummer. You know, I think one is something with marigolds. There's just so much in this book. But anyway, we have one little bit left to read on Midsummer, and then we should just have like a little chat about what we plan to do this evening personally. Okay, so this is the Hearth Witch's Compendium, and I don't use it too much, but there is something cool in here that I wanted to read to you guys. And I have all the stuff to do it. It is a midsummer incense, okay? 3 parts red sandalwood. And that's the red sandalwood powder. Half a part mugwort, half a part chamomile flowers, half a part rose petals, and half a part lavender flowers. So that is a good midsummer incense from the Hearth Witch's Compendium. Alright, y'all. Now let's just chit chat. How is everybody? At the end of my last video, I got a little bit twitchy, and I apologize. I'm better now. I've talked with some friends, and I've thought it through, and I'm okay. So that's what's going on. Is just all goodness. There's no time to bring bad energy into this beautiful, beautiful Midsummer's Eve, Midsummer, summer solstice. It's such a great time. So how are you guys going to be working on manifesting and law of attraction and such? What do you plan to do tonight and tomorrow? For those of you in the UK, you're 8 hours ahead of me, so oh gosh, it's already past midnight. But it is dark. You can go forage right now, Thomas. Just go out walking, forage, whatever. You have a question. What is known about thistle? Okay, I can look up thistle for you. Takesha Lay, going to make daisy crowns with the babies. That's so fun. I know, Uncle Badger. I just don't want to ever hear the word Team Jennifer or Team Taxidermy Witch. It's not even about that. Alright, so let's talk about thistle. Okay, let's go get some so I can show you that we've grown amazing milk thistle. Okay. This is a perfect, perfect, perfect specimen. I love this milk thistle. I've had it since last year. It's very sharp. It's poked me so many times. And it's gorgeous. So here's a milk thistle that we grew. I just love it. Yeah, it's flippin' sharp. Sharp. Alright, so let's talk about thistle since we've got some books out. And we've got a question from a loved one. I love you, Tess. So, thistle. Now, in this book it'll talk about milk thistle and then it'll talk about just thistle, okay? Because there's all kinds of thistles. You just discovered that you have tons growing on the side of the house. Cut them. Go tonight and get them! Yes, yes. I use thistle in snake magic, you know. And this book talks loads about snake magic. And I'm happy for that. So let's look up milk thistle because that's what that is. What the heck? Where's it? Okay. Well, I'll go to thistle then. Scotty, are you tricking me? Elemental PQRST. Milk thistle, it's under thistle, okay. So, the folk name is Marian thistle. Let's do a guess. Okay, let's guess the gender and the planet and the element, you guys. Let's guess the gender, the planet, and the element of milk thistle. I want to see it in the little comments there. Male, great guess. Just got booted out of YouTube. What? Why? That's weird. Gender, planet, element. Okay, male, Jupiter, fire. You're so close. It's male, Mars, fire. Really good job, Nello. Really good job. So, male, Mars, and fire. And the powers, there's only one power. Snake and raging. And you take that as you will. I don't take it literally as snakes, but I take it as enraging people that act as snakes. Okay? Ugly people. And that's what I use milk thistle for, to do if I need to do some enraging. Okay? Now, listen to this. Magical uses. Now, listen to this, Tess. If you go harvest it tonight on Midsummer's Eve, like at midnight when it's all dark, go get those thistles. They're going to be crazy. I mean, I want some of them. Okay, hold on. I got a comment here. Witchy of Whimsy, hi. I really want to start learning about bone throwing. Nice. I have some videos on that. I was watching your Sea Witch bone casting video waiting for you to come back live, and I really want to learn more. Yeah, I sold that casting kit, and I was really happy about that. But my bone casting kit is back here. And after this reading, I can certainly show it to you and talk about it a little bit if you'd like, Witchy of Whimsy. But I have done some videos on throwing bones. Okay, cool, Tess. Yeah, it'll be so magical for you to send me some of those thistles that you collected on Midsummer's Eve, because I don't have any thistles here. There was tons in Texas, though. I was super jealous. So right now we're talking about milk thistle, and this is one that I grew last year that I've just kept because it's just so gorgeous. Yes, Witch of Whimsy, absolutely, you bet. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. We're a big, loving family. Jess, I love you. Good morning, Night Owls. Happy Midsummer. Happy Midsummer. Okay, so the magical uses of milk thistle. One of my very, very favorite magical herbs. The Anglo-Saxons recorded the fact that if the milk thistle was hung around a man's neck, all snakes in his presence would begin fighting. Now, let's talk about that in the way that we're not talking about actual snakes, but we're talking about people that act as snakes. If a man were to... And listen to me, I've done necklaces like this, and it worked just fine. So, I don't feel like you have to be a man to do this working. I feel like you have to embrace your masculine energies. And as a Gemini, that's really fucking easy for me. It's very easy because I have two twins, and one's very feminine and one's very masculine. So I just kind of grab more onto that side when I'm doing the working. Now, I would suggest that as you tie hemp around this and hang it around your neck to go enrage snakes, that you wear a really, really thick shirt or two. And then don't, run because it might hurt you. But honestly, making necklaces out of these is a really freaking powerful thing. And if you were to make them from Midsummer's Eve, that'd be great. I do believe he might just talk about just thistle. Let's see. They talk about holly thistle as well. Do you want to know about holly thistle or just the milk type thistle? Holly thistle is masculine, Mars, and fire, same. But the powers are purification and hex breaking. And the folk name is blessed thistle. The magical uses: wear the holly thistle to protect yourself from evil and to add purification baths. Holly thistle is also used in hex breaking spells. So that's what I've got on thistle. Just out of this book. We could go into other books, but that would be a whole video, wouldn't it? Now, I'll just talk quickly to, well, let me remember the cool name here. Jezebel. Hi, Jezebel. Witch of Whimsy. Okay, let's look at these bones and let's just talk about what bones are and just like a quick brief. But do know that I have a video on bones and making my kit and all that. I just have a weird special place for everything. I feel like honestly, like there's this big pile over there of like all these little things and I know exactly where everything is. Like, oh, my room is my frickin' haven, you know. Love it. Yeah, I have dandelions growing behind my bedroom window. That's going to be something I go out and pick tonight, the dandelions. I mean, I don't even know if, like what I would use them for, but the fact that they're growing behind my bedroom window and there's just like a little line of them, I'm going to go pick those tonight. Whoop. Alright, so let's talk about bones. I keep mine in like a cigar box with this strap of leather that holds it tight, and all my bones are in there. And then I just open up the leather. Now, a lot of people will put them in a big like basket and then toss them. I don't have a basket, so I just toss them out of this. But let me tell you, it's not probably the best idea to get little tiny fragile bones, unless you're okay with them chipping and breaking, and that's fine too. So I've got this pom-pom cigar box. Here's my bones. And let's just like look at them. A lot of them came from, or a majority of them came from, that are turkey bones, came from last Thanksgiving dinner. And I did a video on dismembering a Thanksgiving turkey for a bone throwing kit. I think that's what the video is called. Dismembering a turkey. I know that dismembering's in there. If you search taxidermy witch dismembering, you'll find like sugarcane turkey, some other stuff, but it'll come up. So I've got this big like spine type bone. And, you know, some more turkey bones. Got a deer hoof. I've got a little tiny pig that this little baby left at the restaurant. It's so cute. Remember, bones don't have to be actual bones. They're all kinds of little tricks and stuff. And they're all called bones, though. What human bones would you use now that you can buy human bones? Well, I have this rib, Justin. I mean, I know you're Dustin, but the rib, his name is Justin. I know I love that pig too. I like this bone a lot. Turkey bones are cool. But I wash them. They don't smell like bones. They smell like eucalyptus because I like soaked them and rubbed them in eucalyptus oil so they'd smell good. But I showed that all on my channel how to do that. So here's some more just like turkey bones. And when you throw them and they land, you just have to really use your intuition and see pictures and kind of know what each one means. I had to scrub the marrow out of these and I kept the marrow. This is my favorite bone. It looks like an axe. And it came from a turkey. It's so cool. I've got this teeny tiny deer that has a broken off ear. And, you know, that's part of my reading is the fact that that deer has a broken off ear. I have this weird light bulb. Witch of Whimsy. Yeah, the axe bone is cool, right? My mom sent me a ton of shells she picked from the beach. I've just had them sitting in a box. I have lots of those. Dude, you could just use the shells your mom sent you, you know? I have a red scarlet bean. I have a nutmeg. I have this, like, weird little army soldier I found on the ground. Now, a lot of people do find bones on the ground. You know, like things you're finding on the ground. I decided to take things from my area because I have so many like little oddities and curiosities. This is a raccoon baculum. Baculum. The penis bone of a raccoon. Knuckles Bone Divination has been calling me recently. That's awesome. Next Thanksgiving, save the bones. Right. And the cool thing is that there's so much energy in those bones. Your family got together, or my family got together for that festival in a loving situation, ate together, nourished their bodies, and then I took the bones from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was special to me, that I made my casting kit out of my Thanksgiving turkey that my family ate. You know, to me that's special. It's just like Effie. It's just like Effie, because this, you can connect the soul of the animal to this. Most of these bones are one soul of one animal, and just like Effie, my family ate from her, and that connects her to me. And you can work with the spirit of the animal. So I just want to say that. So I've got a lot of little vertebrae bones that I had to clean with like toothpicks and stuff. This is a chicken finger that I dehydrated, like a chicken toe. More vertebra. It's a gold ring from my dad. An empty bottle from my grandma's bottle collection. Another empty bottle that says 3 flowers on it. Another deer toe. Vertebrae fan. Yeah, me too. Oh, vertebra. Oh. I used vertebrae on my last working. Here's an old cocaine vial. Medical vial. I found this in the woods, so I picked it up and put it in my... It's all like ruined and worn. A dice. A rock with barnacles. Smoky quartz. You really need to explore the woods more. Yeah, done a deer and turkey behind me. That's awesome. Here's kind of a weird bone. You saw something making vertebrae candle holders. Ooh, I love that idea. That's awesome. Some more bones and a gold dollar coin. 2 of those. They have different faces on them though. Another bean. An ear plug. Purple ear plug. This cool ass Indian I found on the ground. It's like an Indian with you know, arrow. It's all dirty from the ground. I found it in the woods. There's another bone. A button. More vertebra. Bottle cap. Ostrich feather. Jez, that's a great idea, Rattle. I have this ball of thread. Black tourmaline. 2 screws, one's black, one's silver. This cool ass flat bone from the turkey. An old quarter that's like got chunks taken out of it. A cinnamon stick. Nail. Chestnut. Blue lapis or lazuli. Of course, a Scrabble tile. I make rattles. They're awesome. I have blue tourmaline. So just some little pieces of stones, a piece of lava, a choke cherry, a white bean, a button, some crystal quartz, safety pin. Just like little weird stuff, right? Okay, let's tip you down and see the bones. You know, just a bunch of little weird stuff. That way when you throw it out, it can kind of make a picture for you and tell a story. Vertebrae can really have to do with standing and structure and stability and things like that. you know, a ninja could mean you need to be really careful and stealthy with it. There's an axe, you know, there's all kinds of pictures that you can see as this is thrown out. So yeah, those are my bones. They're kind of, I don't know how to say it, like, they're kind of precious. And it's my first bone kit, and I know it's got a lot of little things in it, but I'm pretty proud of it. There it is. What do you think? Big set, I know. So, yeah, I just have them in the box, and I give them a jiggle, and I toss them out, usually on my red bedspread. Yeah, go forage, Nello. That's what I'm saying, you guys. Get out there and do it. You don't have to stay here with me. I've still got plenty of sunshine. It's going to be a while for me before I'm able to get out there. It's only 7 o'clock here, I think. Where are we at? 7:56. It's about 8 o'clock. What's going on? Well, are you guys having a good time? You foraged at the thrift store today? That means you stole Tangerine Layla. You foraged at the thrift store. Is there anybody else that wants me to look up something for them? I would be more than happy to do that for you. I would be happy. Geomancy? What's that? Does anyone know what that is? I don't know what it is. Geomancy? And I don't know what book I'll look it up in this Encyclopedia of Wiccan Witchcraft and see if I can figure out what it is. Geomancy. So mancy is the practice of. It's the mythical arts related to the earth. Oh, okay. Oh, good. You finished your homework. That's fantastic. Was it witchcraft homework? One day we'll have witchcraft homework to give people, Kirsten, when we have our commune. Alright, so that's my bone set, and it doesn't exactly fit. And before I use my bones, would you do a bone reading in a video, Jen? Every time I do readings and videos, an Under the Bridge lurker comes. But I can really give it a go. I can give it a go for you guys, sure. But I need to make sure that mods were there, like certain mods and things like that. So let's look up geomancy in here and see if we can't find it. No, it's not in there. Look in here. Geomancy. Trying to find geomancy. If anybody has something they want me to look up, go ahead and ask. I don't know if we'll find geomancy, but I hope we do. Oh, hold stones. Crazy. No, they talk about gargoyles, but not geomancy. I'm sorry, I don't think I have it in my books, but I will definitely keep an eye out for it. World mythology. You want me to read out of my mythology book, Kirsten? I have a world mythology book. It's really awesome. We read stories out of it sometimes. We could read a mythology story if you guys would like. Would you guys like me to get that book out? Remember when we read our world myths? Sure? Okay. Let me put these books back. I happened through my husband. Oh, that's awesome, Tess. Yeah, Dustin, you haven't heard me read one of those yet, so let me go get that book. And it's cool because we get to pick, you'll find out when I get the book. We get to pick a section and then pick a legend, and then it's amazing. Okay, that's a really good book. I love books, you guys. I love being around them. I love touching them. I hate my Kindle books. Alright, let me go get my world myths. I'll be right back. No, it's fine. It's just lame. Like, who does that, you know? Alright, so, World Myths. You know who also has this book and reads it on this channel is Pat. So, if you guys want to get some more World Myths, I've read a bunch on my channel. You can look them up. But Pat has also done some because he liked this book so well. So, let me tell you how this works. We pick from a section and then we pick a story. It is a cool looking book. Tess, didn't you send it to me? Didn't you send this to me? It was from I remember it was from a very close sister. It was either you or B. I can't remember. The books have tilted the camera. Not you. Oh, it was from Nina Bobina. That's right. That's who sent it to me. Okay, so who suggested World Myths? Was it Kirsten? I can't remember. I might have to go back on the chat. World Mythology. Yeah, Kirsten. Okay. So Kirsten, you get to pick a section. So we either have Mesopotamian myths, Greek myths, Egyptian myths, Roman myths, Celtic myths, Viking myths, Native American myths, or Chinese myths. So pick one of those sections and then you get to pick a story from that section. So go ahead and pick a section, Kirsten. Yes, you. So pick a section between Mesopotamian, Greek, Egyptian, Roman, Celtic, Viking, or Native American, or Chinese. Hi, Justin. What's up, buddy? Did we get a pick? Yes, so, okay. Or anybody. Anybody pick a section. Anybody. Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Celtic, Viking, Native American, or Chinese. Egyptian! Okay, great. So, of the Egyptian myths, we get to pick one. We have the creation, Osiris and Seth, Amun-Ra's nightly journey, the battle for kingship, Thoth brings Hathor back, the boating party, the magician, the shipwrecked sailor's tale, or how the blessed lived. So go ahead and pick one of those stories and I'll read it. So we pick a section and then we pick a story. Osiris and Seth. Osiris and Seth. Hey, Dustin, we'll do Mesopotamia next. Alright, Osiris and Seth is where we're going to go because that was the first person to say something. Osiris and Seth, page 27. And the pictures are rad in here. She sent the book to me so I could cut up the pictures. But I'm like, no way. I can't. It's too good of a book. Alright, so Osiris and Seth looks like this. And let's read the story. As the pharaohs of Egypt, Osiris ruled his country with wisdom and kindness. Osiris hated violence, and he chose to civilize the Egyptians in a gentle manner. He showed them how to grow crops so that they could feed themselves. He taught them the law so that they learnt good and just behavior. Finally, he instructed them on how to worship the gods to ensure that Egypt prospered. Things went well in Egypt until Seth, Osiris's wicked brother, who was deeply jealous of him, schemed to oust Osiris from Egyptian throne. Seth had a lavish banquet and invited Osiris and all the gods and goddesses. During the evening, Seth presented a magnificent wooden and gold chest to his guests and invited them to lie inside, like a coffin, promising that he would give it to the one who fitted it best. But Seth had slyly built the chest to fit only Osiris's exact measurements. When Osiris was persuaded to climb into the chest, Seth quickly slammed down the lid, sealed it, and threw it into the Nile, where it soon drifted out to sea. The beautiful gilded chest became Osiris's coffin. When Isis heard what happened, she searched far and wide for her beloved husband. After many months, she found his coffin in the place at Byblos. Returning home with her gentle Osiris, Isis hid the coffin in the marshes in Lower Egypt, but one night, while she lay sleeping, Seth discovered the coffin. When he saw Osiris's body inside, he became red with anger. In a violent rage, he tore the body into 14 pieces and scattered them throughout Egypt. Seth now believed that at last he was the only contender for the throne. Then Isis learnt of Seth's savage behavior and the patience of great love. She began another long search, this time to gather the pieces of Osiris's body. Each time she found another piece, she built a shrine to honor her dead husband, tricking Seth into believing that she was burying his body. When Isis had collected all the pieces together, she used her powerful magic to bring Osiris back to life for just one night. During the night, they conceived their son Horus. Okay, they're leaving out a big part of the story. And do you guys know the big part of the story that they're leaving out? About his penis, basically. Anyway, if anybody knows that little bit of the story and wants to put it in the chat, please go ahead. But yes, she didn't find his penis. She found all the parts of his body except his penis. And I believe she fashioned something to make a penis, to conceive. But I'm not 100% sure on that, so I just want to say. When Isis had collected all the pieces together, she used her powerful magic to bring Osiris back to life for just one night. During that night, they conceived their son Horus. Now that Egypt had a legitimate heir to the throne, Osiris descended to the underworld to rule as the king of the dead. He showed the Egyptian people that, like him, they would have eternal life, and that their spirits, like his own, would live again after death. And that is the story. Alright, so now Dustin picked, his phallus. Right, she found everything except that, so I can't remember what she fashioned and how she actually got pregnant, but she found all the parts of his body except that. Okay, so now we are on to Dustin is going to pick Mesopotamian. So Dustin, here are the Mesopotamian myths. Are you ready? I gotta get a drink. You're ready. All right. You're going to the river tomorrow, Wiccan Mohan? That's so cool. That's such a good idea. Get some great different waters. Collect waters tomorrow. I think there was something about midsummer dew in the morning. Or no, that was Beltane. Alright, so the Mesopotamian myths, Dustin, are Marduk and the Babylonian creation myth, Gilgamesh and the Street of Eternal Life, Unspetanian survives the Great Flood, the marriage of Ishtar and Tammuz, Ishtar in the Underworld, Nigerial and Ikashirial, the Epic of Era, Inanna and the Eagle, Marduk and Nabu. Those are the stories of Mesopotamian myths that we have to choose from. Did you guys like that I changed my clothes? The eagle? Okay. Inanna and the Eagle. Mesopotamian Midsummer. Ooh, this is beautiful. I love you guys. I'm not going to say that I'm not trying with you guys, because I am, you know, like when I read, I try to make it like sound exciting and stuff, and I try not to frick up my words and all of that stuff. But in all reality, I do feel like I'm sitting here with like my best group of friends, and I can't tell you how nice that is. I've not never had that, but I've really not had it a lot in my life. So, you guys are nourishing me with love, and I super appreciate that. Let's continue and read about Etana and the eagle out of Mesopotamian myths. What am I smoking? Blueberry cake. Buttery cream blueberry cake. Yum. Oh, I didn't even know that you asked, but I just said I thought I'd say. Yeah, it is buttery cream blueberry cake. Yum. Alright, so Etana and the eagle, Mesopotamian myth. When the city of Kish was still very young, the gods Enlil and Ishtar decided to find it a king. They chose the wise shepherd for Etana. No, they chose the wise shepherd Etana. For many years Etana ruled well, but he grew old and worried that he did not have a son to be the king of Kish after him. Etana prayed to Shamash, the sun god and the god of justice, asking for a son. Shamash replied, "Take to the road and reach the mountain and ask an eagle to bring you the herb of birth from the home of Anu." I wonder what the herb of birth is. After a long journey, Etana reached the mountain and found a great eagle lying in a ditch with his wings broken. Unknown to Etana, the eagle had been cursed by Shamash for eating the children of a serpent that belonged to the sun god. Etana asked the eagle to help him find the herb of birth. The eagle replied that he would take Etana to the herb if Etana would bring him food to keep him strong while his wings healed. After Etana had brought food to the eagle for several months, the eagle recovered his strength and was able to fly again. Etana climbed into the eagle's back and they soared up into the sky toward the home of Anu. But as the eagle flew higher, Etana grew frightened and cried out, "My friend, I can climb no higher! Stop!" And so the eagle returned him to the ground. For several nights, Etana dreamed about flying high into the sky and having a son, and finally he decided to try again. This time he was not afraid, as the eagle ascended into the heavens, and together they succeeded in finding the precious herb of birth that would give Etana a son, an heir to the kingdom. Etana returned to the city, and soon afterward he had a son named Bala, who became king of Kish after Etana died. Well, that was a sweet little story. I like that. That myth book is great. What are we up to in the chat? What's going on? Good night, Miss Tess. Yep, I think we're all off to do some midsummer things. I think we're all off. Witch of Whimsy, isn't it great? Okay, so again, you guys, my Etsy shop is called Juckshy Lady. And I need some orders. And if you guys make some orders tonight, I can do the workings over Midsummer, tonight and tomorrow. And we'll have some real power in there. And I could even go and forge some herbs for the working tonight. So Juckshy Lady, JUKSHYLADY on Etsy. And we can craft anything for you. Have a really beautiful night. Get out there when the dark comes down. Go and forage your herbs. They're going to be so powerful and so potent. And we'll come on tomorrow morning and we'll just be together and we'll talk about it, okay? So do your things tonight. Come back on tomorrow morning. Who knows? I may come back on later tonight. You guys know me. But yes, blessed Litha to you all. Such beautiful freaking energy and so much love. Talk to you guys